Guess what I got? Yeah, something I have absolutely no idea how to use. It's a keyboard. Yeah, a friend of mine gave me this. He was cleaning out his attic. All right, how do we stop this? Thank you. He was cleaning out his attic and had no use for this FS730 keyboard by Kawaii. I don't know anything about it, but it looks like it ought to be a lot of laughs. Maybe I can make my own music. Yeah, that's about as likely as some unlikely thing. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're going to make a shoulder mount for our camcorder. So let's get right to it, shall we? All right, now this looks like a bunch of mess, but it really isn't. There's just all the pieces that you might or might not need to build whatever kind of a shoulder rig that you're going to want. Now the primary bits that you're going to need will include some of these 90-degree pieces. Now this is one of the shoulder rigs that I've already completed and glued together. So all the pieces are shown here. Now there's the 90-degree and the two 45s, the half-inch coupling, and then a piece of the half-inch electrical PVC. Telling you what you need is going to be a little difficult because you're going to have to kind of base this on what you want to do. For instance, this particular one, let's go with just a handle, a grip handle, two grip handles, let's say, the camera mount, and the shoulder mount. Now, everything we're going to need for that is right here. We're going to have to buy one great big long piece of the PVC pipe, and I think those can be had for less than $1. So you'll need yourself a little saw to cut that with. You're going to need some of that PVC glue. I think a bottle of that can be had for a couple bucks. And then we're going to need our other pieces. We're going to need some 90s. For this particular bit, we'll need 3 of the 90-degree PVC pieces, 2 of the 45s, a coupling, a half-inch coupling, and whatever length of the half-inch pipe that you're going to need. Again, that's what's difficult because you got to kind of make it fit you. So it's something you have to play with, but fortunately none of this is real expensive. You're also going to need some of this half-inch pipe insulation. Now this can be had in a wrap type that's split, and there's several varieties of this on the market, and a stick of it I think is about 6 feet long, 8 feet long, something like that, and it's about $1. So none of this is all that expensive. That's why I'm stressing the electrical PVC, because it is cheaper than the water PVC. Where these pieces of foam are going to go is to act like handles. All right, let's get right back down to making the thing. Oh, the key piece is the center. This is what's going to hold the camera. Now all this is a 1/2 inch T box. And what I've done is something very simple. You take the screws out of the T box, you drill a little bit bigger than a 1/4 inch hole, and one that matches in the plate. And then in this particular case, I took a 2-inch, 1/4 inch by number 10, I think it is, thread. I'm going to have to look that up. Maybe it's number 20 thread. Anyway, it's the same one that goes in your camera. And I managed to take that 2-inch long bolt, carriage bolt, and got it to where it would just poke through the top of the box. That's quite just enough to go up into the camera and not damage the threads. And then I simply took a nut of the same size and glued it in place. So you'll need a little bit of super glue to put that in place. And that'll lock it together, and then the bolt doesn't come out of the plate. Now, we just simply put that back together, and the plate comes with a couple of Phillips head screws. And we'll put those rascals back in. See, so far we haven't even broken a sweat. Now, put those together, and that's going to act in a variety of ways to mount our camera. Now in this particular design, I'm just going to press fit this together, but the shoulder rig you will definitely want to glue together after you get it fitted to you. Let's take a full-size 90-degree and 2 of the full-size 45s and just simply fit them together. Make sure I'm doing this right. Nope, already not doing it right. Let's turn that over. That's going to be the part that goes over our shoulder. this is the part that's going to go out to the 1/2 inch extension. And here's our little connector. Here's our piece. Now again, what is that, 6-7 inches, something like that? You will have to fit it, cut it to fit you. Just make sure it's someplace that's comfortable. You can do this without putting the camera on the control box. Now, depending on which side you want to hold it on, that's great because you can just turn this around any different way. You could even go this route and mount the camera where you're holding it on a T, like this. See? Look how simple that is, like that, if that's most comfortable to you. Now the way I'm going to do it this time is a little different. We're going to take it, I got to get it where it's not press fitting, but there. Let's take it there, and we'll put a handle on this side, and we'll put a handle out front. Now, we can take our foam that we're going to use to make it all nice and snug and easy to grip. Put that on. And see, now we've got a pretty solid mount to hold our camera. Now the last part of that is going to be taking, let's take the shoulder part, and cutting a piece of our foam material to go over the shoulder mount. Let me move some of this out of the way so we can see it. There. That can go over the shoulder mount. And if you want to tighten that up, you can take some cable zip ties and put it in a couple of places. Now you got something that'll be comfortable over your shoulder. And again, there's a variety of things you can do once you've made this basic arrangement. At one point, I had made one using some more of these that I'd cut off a little short to actually have 2 shoulder lines going out. Again, that's up to you. What you'll have when you get done with all these pieces is a camera mount that can be made for under $20. And that's a pretty hard thing to come by. Now, one thing I have discovered, it's a little bit light. So you might want to try to figure some way to put some weight on it or some weight in it. One of the things I'm going to experiment with is going to be filling this back piece with sand and to see if that helps quite a bit. The heavier the camera you've got, the better. And as soon as I'm able to mount my little 9-inch monitor on it, that ought to increase the weight considerably. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward project. It's something you can do in an afternoon, and you don't have to have any real special tools to make it. So knock yourself out and have fun with that one. Anyway, here's the completed rig with a camera on it. And it's a little bit heavier camera, so if you want to see how it works, if you had your monitor up, you could almost look to use your eyepiece. But depending on your camera, now you got a pretty good, solid little mount there. So gives you something to do, and I think you can probably bring it in for around 20 bucks, depending on how you want to set it up. Use your imagination when it comes to moving things around on the center point. But all in all, pretty straightforward little project, don't you think? Till next time.